Next on Worcester News Tonight, Becker College inaugurates their first female president in history, how she's already making a difference. Plus, an area hospital becomes the first to perform an aortic valve replacement through an artery in the patient's arm. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brittany Schaefer. A cool and cloudy day in Worcester County as the storm makes its way towards the area. For more on tonight's storm, let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Kelly for a first look at our local forecast.
Yeah, it's more fitting for early March than April. Right now, snow, rain, sleet, cold air is here. This morning at the airport we were 24, this afternoon only 42, and now it's fallen back through the 30s as the snow and sleet and rain moves across. These numbers are a little high and the snow is actually a little further south. So the lawn is turning white and the roads are wet, especially from Worcester points north. About 10 o'clock, it's still cold, but the rain-snow line is going to lift to the north into New Hampshire. Not fun driving to ski areas in northern New England tonight. Tomorrow will be much better. 5 a.m., the rain is letting up. We could get about a quarter, maybe 4/10 of an inch of rain or melted snow. And it's a warm front, so behind it, the temperature comes up. By noontime tomorrow, it is gorgeous. The sun is out. We're climbing through the 50s. We're going to the 60s. How many times does this happen where we're forecasting snow and 60s almost in the same breath? Tomorrow as the sun goes down, temperature is going to be close to 65. Somewhat cooler air trying to come in Sunday, but we're going to make up for it with sunshine. It is a beautiful weekend, and then more snow, ice, and rain in the 10-day forecast in a few minutes.
Becker College holds its inauguration for their 11th president. Dr. Nancy Crimmin has become the first female president in the college's history. Friday, hundreds came to the celebration to show their support. Our Chandler Walsh was there. She joins us live now with the latest. Chandler?
Brittany, Becker College is one of the 25 oldest institutions in the country. And even with its hundreds of years of history, Crimmin is making history herself as its first official female leader. She has decades worth of experience in education and has been with the school since 2012. Becker students cheer as Dr. Nancy Crimmin enters for her inauguration. The Leicester campus gymnasium was covered in its school color blue, packed with Crimmin's family, colleagues, and hundreds of community members.
It really is a point in time where we mark our history and we move forward with a vision.
Crimmin, who's already served for a year and a half, is the college's 11th president and the school's first female president.
I love the fact that I am the first female president, but I'm the first female president who's also just as effective as any other president.
This is the real deal. You know, this is a woman who has worked really hard.
Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito says it's great to see women doing well in high positions.
Nancy is a real change agent and someone who came up through the ranks over the past 5 or 6 years to the leadership at this college.
Students showed support. The women's ice hockey team was among a group wearing inauguration t-shirts.
We've had a lot of interest in it, so we've been trying to figure out where to park, how to get here, what time. We came early because we knew it was going to be busy.
Claudia G. says Crimmin is always supporting them, coming to their games, and they knew they needed to do the same.
Right now, especially in hockey, there's a lot of politics going on about women in sport and gender equality. So I think seeing President Crimmin coming and being the full president and being inaugurated today is really good for just a political change, but also just for her herself.
Crimmin hopes this milestone is an inspiration to her female students. She's already working to make an impact, launching a strategic plan and adding new majors and programs.
We started 2 new schools, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, and then we rebranded our accelerated division to be the School of Graduate and Professional Studies. So that's just the tip of the iceberg.
And the theme of Crimmin's inaugural address was leading through authenticity, commitment, and vision. She wants her students to know they come first. Live in Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Auburn police arrest a man after a chase Friday, and the ironic part to this case, the suspect was wearing a shirt reading, "Won't be caught." Police say a 30-year-old Connecticut man stole $400 worth of clothing from the Auburn Mall. He then led police on a car chase until he ultimately crashed in Worcester. Police say he then tried to outrun them, but was arrested all while wearing the t-shirt. He is being held on $1,000 bail. An area hospital becomes the first in the area to perform an aortic valve replacement through the patient's arm. It is typically done through the groin, but doctors say this new technique results in less scarring and recovery time. Our Rosalind Flaherty joins us live now with the details. Rosalind?
Brittany, doctors say this is another great approach to replacing an aortic valve without doing open heart surgery. This patient had his aortic valve replaced. Doctors at UMass Memorial Medical Center were able to do the procedure through the artery, which brings blood to his arm. The hospital is the only one in the area capable of doing it.
The artery to the arm, and it's unclear to me exactly why, but it tends to be less diseased.
Dr. Nicholas Kakaros is a cardiologist at UMass Memorial Medical Center. The procedure is called transcatheter aortic valve replacement, or TAVR. It's a way of replacing the aortic valve in the heart without doing open heart surgery. The procedure is done for those who are too sick to get open heart surgery or those who want a less invasive approach.
The aortic valve is the main valve of the heart. It's the valve that has to open to allow the heart to push the blood out to the body. And then it closes and stops that blood going back into the heart. So this is a valve that has to open and close every single time the heart beats. So with time, it wears down.
The procedure is usually done by inserting a catheter through the groin. Dr. Kakaros says doing it through the arm is also a great technique with minimal scarring and takes about an hour and a half.
They have a much faster recovery, they get up and about faster, and they go home faster.
Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger is recovering from a reported heart valve replacement surgery. Dr. Kakaros says people who are at risk for these problems are older men with high blood pressure.
It's a mechanical problem. There's no medication that will fix this problem. It's to replace it.
It's unclear what led up to Mick Jagger's surgery. Doctors also recommend if you have a heart murmur to investigate it because they say it could be a sign of a valve disease. Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
A Central Mass doctor is warning about the measles after a confirmed case in the Boston area this week. The person visited several locations in the state, including a service plaza in Framingham. Health officials say people possibly exposed could show symptoms within 10 days to 2 weeks. The rare but highly contagious respiratory infection causes a total body skin rash and flu-like symptoms. UMass Memorial Medical Center Dr. Amrutha Balakrishnan says it's a serious condition.
It is shocking, and knowing that it is happening in our community, there would be many susceptible individuals, and it's been known that if, say, 9 out of 10 susceptible individuals get exposed to that person who had the measles, they get the measles infection. We need to get the people who are unvaccinated on board and make sure that they are up in their immune system.
The doctor says the disease is rare because the measles are preventable by vaccine. The Baker-Polito administration launched a public information campaign to raise awareness about the dangers of vaping. The campaign is aimed towards middle and high school age students by using social media. They hope to educate and help associate the use of vaping with combustible cigarettes. The FDA is also investigating whether e-cigarettes may trigger seizures in some people who use the devices.
Products have dangerous chemicals in them. When they're heated up, the chemicals are released, and they do release some carcinogenic materials. And the new information around the seizures is alarming because this is something that's new, and we don't have all the long-term information yet about these products because they're new products.
The latest statewide data shows 41% of Massachusetts high school students have tried e-cigarettes at least once. A central Massachusetts town is benefiting big time financially from recreational marijuana sales. The town of Leicester has received more than $260,000 in revenue from sales at Cultivate. This was just through the end of February. Administrators say while it is greatly beneficial to programs in town, they believe the numbers will start to decrease with more recreational marijuana shops opening nearby. The impacts of winter weather continue to delay the opening of the city's sports fields again this year. The city was hoping to open the fields in its parks on April 1st, but say April 12th is the new proposed opening date. The Department of Public Works says crews can't get onto the fields until the turf is dry enough for the equipment. This affects public school and recreational teams who use the fields for games and practice. The city says hopefully they'll be ready by next Friday.